Namaste. Today I am in Arun Jaitley Park. It is part of Siri Fort area. A beautiful park in almost 40 acres. Sometimes I come here just for walking. So I thought to shoot this video in this park only. Today I want to talk on a subject which is anger management. If we ignore the anger, we will be able to control it. If we are trying to douse it by fighting with the anger, it will overpower us. There is a saying that anger basically doesn't solve anything. It builds nothing, but it can destroy everything. One Chinese proverb is there, which I would like to quote. If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. So basically, neurologists also claim that every time you resist acting on your anger, you are actually rewriting your brain to be calmer and more loving. So basically, one should resist acting on anger. One should ignore things. Now, I would like to narrate one beautiful story from Mahabharata. This is a long story, but worth listening. Once Sri Krishna and the five Pandava brothers went hunting in the forest. By the time they had finished hunting, the sun went down and night was about to fall. They realized that they cannot return to their kingdom and decided to spend the night in the forest itself. Walking, they saw a cave and it was agreed that each person would stand guard for 2 hours while the others slept. The youngest brother Sahadev was given the first slot. He stood at the entrance of the cave, holding all his weapons aloft, while others slept inside. After an hour and a half, Sahadev suddenly noticed a dwarf coming towards him from the forest. "Stop," said Sahadev. "Who are you? Where are you going?" The dwarf said, "You can see that I am a tiny dwarf. I want to fight you." Sahadev thought, "Here is a foot and a half tall dwarf, and here I am 6 footer. I shall win with no difficulty at all." Therefore, for the sake of entertainment, he agreed to fight the dwarf. However, he was no ordinary dwarf. He defeated Sahadev, tied him up with a rope, left him on the ground, and went away. A little later, Nakul woke up. Not finding Sahadev, he called out, and a faint voice replied, "I am here." Nakul found him in the state in which the dwarf had left him. "Who did this to you?" he asked. Sahadev could not bring himself to say that he had lost to a small dwarf. So he replied, "I found this rope and was tying myself up and resting on the ground." Nakul said, "Okay, go and sleep. I will keep watch." Towards the end of Nakul's 2 hours, again the dwarf appeared and the same sequence repeated. Next was Arjun's turn. He also found Nakul lying on the ground tied up with a rope. All the brothers faced the same situation, including Bhima and Yudhishthir. Finally, it was Krishna's turn. He found Yudhishthir on the ground. Now, Yudhishthir was one who always spoke the truth. He told Krishna the whole story. "I don't understand what happened," he said. "When my turn was just about to finish, this tiny dwarf appeared from nowhere and said, 'I want to wrestle with you.' When we started wrestling, something strange happened. The more I fought, the bigger the dwarf became until he was a huge giant and I was like a small child before him. He easily caught hold of me, threw me on the ground, and tied me up. I am unable to understand what kind of a dwarf he was. Krishna smiled and said, Never mind, you go, I'll take care of him. Just as dawn was about to break, Krishna saw the dwarf coming towards him. When the fellow was right before him, Krishna asked, What brings you here? The dwarf replied, The same desire with which I came to you, your five friends, and defeated them. I want to fight with you. Krishna prepared himself, and the two began to fight. Soon the dwarf started increasing in size. Krishna understood the matter. He threw down his weapons, sat down quietly, and said to the dwarf, You can hit me. At this, the dwarf's size started reducing, and Krishna simply watched. Finally, when he became very small, Krishna picked him up and tied up in his pitambar, Krishna, Krishna's customary yellow garment, and sat down. When all the brothers woke up and came out, they asked Krishna, Did someone come while you stood guard? Krishna said, Ah, yes. A tiny dwarf came, and the brothers asked, So how did you handle him? Krishna replied, I did nothing. Surprised, the Pandavas asked, What is the meaning of this? When we fought, he became bigger and bigger, and you have tied him up in your pitambar? Krishna then revealed who the dwarf was. It was Anger. He said, Anger assumed the form of a dwarf and fought with you all. The more you fight with anger, it only becomes bigger, confronting you until it becomes huge and completely overpowers you and binds you up. Yudhishthira said, The matter is clear now. You were the only one who recognized him, and when we don't retaliate, he becomes tiny and insignificant. This story signifies that negativities will always be there. If we try to overpower them, we will end up in a fight which we are bound to lose. As the more we struggle, the stronger they become. Therefore, simply ignore them and focus on adopting positive qualities, attitude, actions, and behavior in our life. Thank you very much for watching this. There is a saying, when you are angry, be silent. When you are angry, just keep cool. Don't react. Please learn to ignore the anger and make it as small as possible. I'm sure your life will be happy if you learn the art of ignoring anger. A quote is there. This quote I have copied from about.com. Try to manage your anger since people can't manage their stupidity. For others' stupidity, don't harm yourself by getting angry. Please learn to remain cool and calm always. This is called spiritual awakening. Be spiritually awakened. Thank you very much. Good day.